This is review problem number 2 for assessment number 5. In this problem, they give us a system of equations with 3 variables. They want us to solve it using Gauss-Jordan elimination. Now remember, Gauss-Jordan elimination is where you make a matrix. You want the bottom three spots in your matrix to be 0 and the top 3 spots in your matrix to be 0 as well, with ones down the diagonal, and that's how you find your solutions. So the first thing we need to start with is we need to start with writing -6, -2, -1, 7, -17. So we need to create a matrix using our coefficients from our system of equations. Once we have the matrix written, we need to start by canceling the bottom left corner of this matrix. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to multiply the bottom by -6. So -6, row 3. And multiply the top by 4, row 1. We multiply the top by 4, you're going to get -24, -8, -4, and -68. And you'll get 5, 1, -6, 19 for the middle row, and 24, 36, 36, 120 for the bottom row. Now we want to add row 3 plus row 1, and we want it to be row 3. So let's go ahead and add those together. We get 0, 28, 32, and 50, let's see, that's 32, 52. And the middle row stays the same, so 5, 1, -6, 19. I'm going to actually take this back, so I'm going to at the same time, once I add these, well, let's wait. I'll wait for that step. We'll do it next. -24, -8, -4, -68. So as I do this problem, I'm going to try and keep these numbers fairly small. So I'm going to essentially, if I multiply a row by 4, I'll end up dividing that row by 4 in the following steps. So I'm going to say row 1 divided by 4 to get this row down to something that's easy to work with. So let's go ahead and write that as -6, -2, -1, -17, 5, 1, -6, 19, 0, 28, 32, 52. Alrighty. I need to cancel this term right here, so I'm going to multiply the middle row by 6, so 6 times row 2, and I'm going to do the top one 5 times row 1 and add them together. So when I multiply, I get -30, -10, -5, -50, 85, -85. 6 will give me 30, 6 times the middle row, 6, -36, and 60, I think 114. 114 it is. 0, 28, 32, 52. Now we're going to take and we're going to add row 1 plus row 2, and that's going to equal row 2. When we add those, we get 0, -4, -41, the -85 and the 114, 29, and at the same time, I'm going to, well, I'll do it in separate steps, like I said earlier. Negative 30, negative 10, negative 5, negative 85, 0, 28, 32, 52. Now I'm going to actually, I need to cancel this one to be 0, but I want to reduce the top row as well. So I'm going to go ahead and say 5, we're going to do row 1 divided by what I multiply, 5. All right, so I'm going to divide it by 5. I'm going to take the middle row, and I'm going to take that times 7 so I can make it equal to the 28 because I'm trying to cancel this one to be 0. So 7, row 2. So the top row is going to be negative 6, negative 2, negative 1, and negative 85 divided by 5 is negative 17. 7 times the middle term is 0, negative 28. 7 times negative 41, negative 287. 7 times 29, 203. We've got 28, 32, and 52. Now we want to take and we want to add row 2 with row 3. That's going to equal row 3. So I get 0, 0 when I take negative 28 and add 28. Negative 287 and 32 is negative 255. 203 and 52 is 255. And we get 0, negative 28, negative 287, 203. Negative 6, negative 2, negative 1, negative 17. My next step is I'm going to divide this row by negative 1, and I'll multiply the top row by 2. No, not by 2. Multiply the top row by 14. So let's take, and let's just do negative 1 times row 2. And we'll take the 14 times row 1. So we take 14 times the row 1. I get negative 6 times 14, negative 84. Fourteen times negative 2 is negative 28. 14 times negative 1 is negative 14. 14 times negative 17, negative 238. Multiply the negative 1 to the middle, I get 0, 28, 287, and negative 203. I get 0, 0, negative 255, and 255 here. Now I'm going to add the row 2 with row 1, which will equal row 1. And when I add those, I get negative 84, 0, 287, and negative 14 is going to be 273. Negative 203 and negative 238. It's negative 441. And so I have 0, 28, 287 here, negative 203 here, 0, 0, negative 255, 255. So I'm going to multiply the bottom by negative, well, I'm going to divide row 3 by negative 255. So then, that gives me negative 84. Well, I'm going to do, yeah, negative 84, 0, 273, negative 441, 0, 28, 287, negative 203, 0, 0, 1. I'm dividing by negative 255, so 1, and this is negative 1. Yeah, this is a positive 1 here. Now I need to cancel this one here, so I'm going to multiply the bottom by negative 273, row 3. So that'd be 0, 0, negative 273, and then positive 273, 0, 28, 287, negative 203. We've got negative 84, 0, 273, negative 441. We need to add row 3 with row 1, and it's going to equal row 1. When we add those, we get negative 84, 0, 0, negative 441 plus 273, negative 168. This is 0, 28, 287, negative 203, and then 0, 0, negative 273, 273. Okay, I'm going to divide the top row by negative 84. So row 1 divided by negative 84. I'm going to divide the bottom row, row 3, by negative 273. That gives you 1, 0, 0, negative 168 divided by negative 84, that's 2. On the bottom you get 0, 0, 1, negative 1, and you get 0, 28, 287, negative 203 for the middle row. Okay, last step, I'm going to multiply negative 287 times row 3. That gives you 0, 0, negative 287, positive 287. We have 0, 28, 287, negative 203 for the middle row, and 1, 0, 0, 2 for the top row. Let's take row 3 with row 2, and that's going to equal row 2. Negative 287, well, first of all, we get 0, 28, that's 0 when you add these together. When you add these together, you get 84. And we still have 0, 0, negative 287, 287, 1, 0, 0, 2. Now I'm going to take this row and I'm going to divide it by 28. So row 2 divided by 28. row 3 divided by negative 287. When we divide those, we get 1, 0, 0, 2, 0, 1, 0, see 84 divided by 28, 3, and 0, 0, 1, negative 1. So our solutions are x value of 2, y value of 3, z value negative 1. And that's the solution to our matrices.